David Brand along with TV40 bringing you the racing action. We're just about ready to get started with heat number 1, and here's how they'll start. On the pole, it'll be Barry Howard, car number 17. Starting second in the 11S is Russ Shoup. Third, Russ Leinbach Jr. Fourth, the 24, Jerry Remsnyder. Fifth will be Glenn Adams in the 12. Sixth will be Chris Shuey in the 21. Seventh, Mark Millen in the 27. Starting 8th is Jeff Leapart, and starting 9th is Dave Eitner, car number 71. And the green flag is out here for heat number 1 for the limited late model division. Barry Howard has jumped out to the early lead, followed by Russ Leinbach Jr. There's Glenn Adams and Chris Shuey trying to move up through the pack. Jerry Remsnyder, who had a third place finish last week, trying to get around Shoup for third spot. Remsnyder taking over third spot. Mark Millen in the 27 works his way into 5th position. 5 cars to qualify, 10 laps the distance. Jeff Leapart, currently 3rd in points here, running 6th. Needs to gain 1 spot better to move into tonight's feature event. And he gets into the back end of Mark Millen. You can see the back end of the 27 does not look damaged though, but Leapart definitely did make some contact the last time coming off corner number 4. Barry Howard continues to be our race leader, and he has about an 8 or 9 car length advantage over Russ Leinbach Jr. And there's the 27 of Mark Millen being challenged by Jeff Leapart. Jeff Leapart side by side down the backstretch. This is for 5th position. Only 5 to move on to the feature event, a very important position. Jeff Leapart taking over 5th. 4 laps are down, 6 remain. Jeff Leapart now looking to the inside of Chris Shuey and Jerry Remsnyder. Jeff Leapart up to 3rd position. He was out late. He had to start at the very back of the field. Chris Shuey now running 5th, trying to hold off Mark Millen. Mark Millen looking to the inside of Shuey. Shuey in the 21 running 5th, Millen running 6th. Millen and Shuey get together. Once again, the drivers keep going though. The contact was light, but those 2 drivers did get together coming off corner number 4. Barry Howard, a runaway leader in this event. And here's the race for 2nd position. Further up, coming off corner number 2. Shuey goes around Remsnyder for 4th position. Coming off corner number 4. It's Leapart taking over 2nd position from Russ Leinbach Jr. 2 laps remain. Jeff Leapart now running 2nd, but I don't think he has enough time to run down Barry Howard, who comes off corner number 4 right now. He's our race leader. Barry Howard gets the white flag. This is just his 3rd race in the car this season. He had a late start. Barry Howard now on the backstretch. He goes through corner number 3 and 4. He's going to pick up the checkered flag in heat number 1. The runner-up will be Leapart. 3rd will be Russ Leinbach Jr. 4th will be Chris Shuey. Taking over the 5th and final qualifying position is Jerry Remsnyder. So Barry Howard, after just 3 weeks back, picks up his first heat win of the season in the limited late model division.
Show off your team's race car.
Limited late model division is lined up and they're ready to go. The lights out on the pace car and we're just about ready to turn them loose. Starting on the pole is going to be the rookie of Steve Gross, car number 11G. Starting 2nd in the 119 is Butch Campion. Starting 3rd in car number 7 is Mike Leonard. Mike Leonard had a 2nd place finish last week, his best finish of the season in the limited late model division. Starting 4th will be the 10 of Gene Wrightstone. 5th will be Todd Bayshore, car number 29, currently 12th in points. Starting 6th will be Charlie Cope, car number 18. Starting 7th will be Brian Shuey, car number 22. And starting 8th will be Jimmy Shuttlesworth, car number 91. He's currently 2nd in the points here in a limited late model division. 10 laps to distance, 5 of these cars to qualify. Just about ready to go green. Steve Gross. I understand that he bought that car off of Dan Little a few weeks ago. And it is Gross, our race leader. Mike Leonard quickly moving up to 2nd position. Todd Bayshore on the move. Basher started fifth. He's now challenging for third, and he takes over third. Mike Leonard in car number 7 now at the bottom of the track, challenging for the lead. It's Gross on the outside, Leonard to the inside. Todd Basher up to third position. Butch Campion running fourth. Mike Leonard taking over the lead. Butch Campion running fifth. Here comes Shuttlesworth challenging for that position. Shuttlesworth at the bottom of the track takes over fifth position from Butch Campion. Brian Shuey running fourth right on the back bumper of Bayshore. Bayshore goes on the inside of Steve Gross. Steve Gross running the upper groove. Running right on the edge of the cushion, and Brian Shuey gets underneath him as Gross gets a little high going through corner number 2. Brian Shuey right on the back bumper of Bayshore, who's currently running second. Mike Leonard's our race leader at the halfway point. Shuey and Bayshore side by side down the front stretch. Brian Shuey looking very strong down the straightaways. Once again, Shuey looking to the inside of Bayshore. Shuttlesworth now moving up onto the back bumper of Shuey. Once again, Shuey having the power down the straightaways, moves to the inside of Bayshore. We'll see if he can make it stick this time as they come off corner number 4. Brian Shuey started 7th. He's currently running 2nd. Brian Shuey has looked very strong the last several weeks here in the limited late model ranks. 2 laps to go this time around. Shuttlesworth looking to the inside of Bayshore. Jimmy Shuttlesworth challenging for third. Brian Shuey gets it a little sideways coming off 4. He nearly lost it. 1 lap to go. This is the last lap. We'll see if Shuey can run down Mike Leonard. Mike Leonard already has 2 heat wins to his name so far this season. Shuey also, no, Brian Shuey has 3 heat wins, but it's going to be Mike Leonard picking up his 3rd checkered flag of the season. The runner-up position goes to Brian Shuey, 3rd to Jimmy Shuttlesworth, 4th to Todd Bayshore, and Steve Gross picks up the 5th and final qualifying position. So the rookie of Mike Leonard continues his hot streak as he wins the 2nd heat race for the limited late model division. Final qualifying heat for the limited late model division. Starting on the pole is going to be Tim Liddick. Rodney Klauser was due to start on the pole, but he blew a motor in hot laps. The car caught on fire, so he's unable to make the call here for the heat race. So on the pole, it's Tim Liddick. On the outside of the front row is Rick Barr. Row number 2 is Wilmer Weiss, Ron Little. Row number 3, Scott Richwine, Jeff King. And starting last, car number 6 is Carl Billett. There's a $50 bounty out on Carl Billett. He's won 15 out of 15 heats so far this season. And there is $50 up for any driver that can beat him here in heat number 3 for the limited late model division. That $50 bounty being posted by York Springs Auto Auction. And the green flag is out. Only 7 cars in heat race number 3. That should make it a little easier for Carl. But there's some very tough competitors in this race. Rick Barr, Wilmer Weiss, Ron Little. Carl trying to go to the inside of Jeff King. Carl Billett taking over 6. Now looking to the inside of Scott Richwine and Ron Little. Richwine in car number 2. Ron Little running the bottom of the track. Billett trying to go around on the outside of Ron Little. Last week in Victory Lane, Carl Billett says he doesn't worry about the heat race streak. He said he concentrates on just qualifying for the feature event, and that's what he's just done now. He's up to 4th position, and that's all he worries about is qualifying each and every week. Wilmer Weiss running 3rd. Carl Billett, though, to the outside of Weiss. Carl Billett now running 3rd with just 4 laps down. Carl Billett moving through the pack, car number 6. Rick Barr running 2nd. Tim Liddick, our race leader. Carl Billett now looking to the inside of Rick Barr. He takes over 2nd. Billett now running 2nd. Tim Liddick, our race leader, car number 75. And once again, he goes to the bottom of the track. They're side by side down the front stretch. Carl Billett taking over the lead here in heat number 3. Looks like he may be well on his way to 16 out of 16 in the heat races. Carl Billett brings it off corner number 4. He's followed by Rick Barr. Scott Richwine moving up to 3rd. And Jeff King unloads one down the front stretch. You can see the smoke pouring out from underneath the 117. There was a flash of fire and he gets it off the track. I don't know if we'll see the yellow flag or not. The yellow flag is out. Jeff King sitting down in the pit area. Right off the backstretch, you can still see the smoke rolling off the car. Car number 17 bringing out the caution flag here in heat number 3 with Carl Billett, our race leader. Well, it looks as if Carl Billett is going to make it 16 out of 16, but he's got 3 laps to go. Make that 2 laps to go. 8 laps are down, 2 remain. Rick Barr running 2nd. Scott Richwine running 3rd. That was a tough break for Jeff King. Jeff King currently 4th in the points here at Silver Spring Speedway. And that motor just flew apart. I don't think he'll be back out for the consolation event. Green flag is waving. Richwine running 3rd, trying to run down Rick Barr, car number 5. Liddick running 4th. And Ron Little holding on to that 5th and final qualifying spot. He ducks to the inside and tries to go underneath Tim Liddick. 1 lap to go for our race leader, Carl Billett. Carl Billett goes down the backstretch. He'll come around this time and he should pick up the checker flag for heat number 3. Carl Billett will make it 16 out of 16. The runner-up is Rick Barr. Scott Richwine slowing, but he does get 3rd. Some smoke coming from that car in the last 2 laps. Tim Liddick picking up 4th. And Ron Little picking up the 5th and final qualifying spot, car number 11. So Carl Billett, once again, making it 16 out of 16 in the limited late model heat races. Coming up next, we'll have the Super Sportsman right after this. And it's the limited late model consolation event. Starting on the pole is Mark Billett, car number 27. Starting on the outside of row 1 is Charlie Cope. Row number 2 is Wilmer Weiss and Glenn Adams. Row number 3 is made up of Butch Campion and Dave Eitner. Row number 4 will be the 10 of Gene Wrightstone. And the 11S of Russell Shoup. 8 cars to start, only 6 to qualify. Looking to fill the last 6 positions in the limited late model 20-lap feature event. It's Mark Billett, car number 27. Mark Billett currently among some of the top runners in the points. And I believe he's 5th coming into tonight's program. Glenn Adams quickly trying to work his way around Eitner and Butch Campion. Glenn Adams up to 4th, car number 12. Mark Billett, the race leader, followed by Wilmer Weiss, Charlie Cope. Eitner and Campion side by side. Eitner looking to the inside of Campion. Dave Eitner having the help of TNS Automotive. Getting car number 71 back together. He took the entire season off last year. He thought he had the car sold, then he had parts of the car sold, but then he got everything back. Charlie Cope taking over the runner-up position from Wilmer Weiss. Charlie Cope had started 2nd. Wilmer Weiss nearly making contact with the guardrail down in corner number 4. Having some handling problems with the K3. Gene Wrightstone now up to 6th spot. as he goes around the 119 of Butch Campion. Campion having some problems with the car. Car looks real loose as he comes off the corners. Glenn Adams closing in on Wilmer Weiss for third position. Glenn Adams running third, Wilmer Weiss. Well, Glenn Adams running fourth, Wilmer Weiss is third. Mark Billett, car number 27, continues to be our race leader. Charlie Cope trying to close in on Billett. Billett has maybe a 5 or 6 car length advantage over Charlie Cope. 4 laps remain here in a limited late model consolation event. Mark Billett in the 27. 3 laps to go this time around. Billett running the BRC car. Cope running second. Mark Billett. Charlie Cope with 2 laps to go. Cope in the Schatzer Roofing, car number 18. Well, it looks like smooth sailing for Mark Billett with 1 lap to go. He has a 3 or 4 car length advantage over Charlie Cope. Charlie Cope not really able to close in on Billett. Cope looks a little faster through the corners, but Billett looks stronger down the straightaways. This is it, the last set of turns. It's going to be Mark Billett picking up the consolation win. Second to Charlie Cope. Third will go to Wilmer Weiss. Fourth to Glenn Adams. Fifth will go to Dave Eitner. Seventh to Gene Wrightstone. So it's Mark Billett, car number 27, picking up his second consolation win of the season here in the limited late model division. Next, we'll have the first of 2 Super Sportsman consolation events. Limited late model feature event starting on the pole with Barry Howard, followed by Steve Gross, Tim Liddick, Russ Leinbach Jr., Mike Leonard, Rick Bard, Jerry Remsnyder, Todd Bayshore, Ron Little, Chris Shuey, Scott Richwine, Brian Shuey, Jeff Leapart, Jimmy Shuttlesworth, Carl Billett, Mark Billett, Charlie Cope, Wilmer Weiss, Glenn Adams, Dave Eitner, Gene Wrightstone. That's our 21 car starting field. 20 laps the distance here for the limited late model division. Starting on the front row, Barry Howard, Steve Gross on the outside. It's Barry Howard. Steve Gross getting tapped and turned sideways. Several cars nearly getting involved with that. A fine job to just about the whole starting field, as they did a fine job to avoid missing that. Steve Gross was bumped from behind, sent into the outside retaining wall. Brings out the caution flag here on the initial start. And we're going to come back with the restart after this. Well, car number 11G has been taken off the track on the wrecker. Unable to continue, so the front row now is going to be Barry Howard and Tim Liddick. Tough break for Steve Gross. Looked as if Steve Gross was a little sideways coming off corner number 4, and then one of the cars got into him, and that got him into the outside retaining wall. Tim Liddick now takes over the lead from Barry Howard. Here's our official top 10 rundown from that Super Sportsman feature event. It was the 5G of Mike Irwin, followed by George Group, Paul Troutman, Leroy Martin, John Stoner, Bob Fantasy, Bobby Weaver. The 12 of Howie Locke, the 3 of Snellbaker, and the 59 of Jake Rodaball. That was your top 10 in the Super Sportsman. Here we have Todd Bayshore trying to work his way around car number 11 of Ron Little. Rich Wine to the bottom of the track. Carl Billett sandwiched in between several cars. Looks as though that is the 12 of Glenn Adams. Also, it looks like Barry Howard has stopped too. It is the 17 of Barry Howard, the 12 of Glenn Adams, bringing out the caution flag here with 2 laps down in the limited late model feature event. Well, with just 2 laps down, our race leader is Tim Liddick. Mike Leonard, who started 5th, has worked his way up to 2nd. Rick Barr running 3rd. The 24, Remsnyder, running 4th. Jerry Remsnyder started 7th. He's already up to 4th position, followed by Ron Little, Todd Bayshore, Scott Richwine, Brian Shuey, and Jeff Leapart. That's our top 10 at this point with just 2 laps down. 18 laps remaining. Carl Billett stuck further back in the pack. Carl Billett's been on a hot streak of late. Carl with a total of 6 feature wins here. Green flag is out. It's Leonard challenging for the lead. Ron Little taking over 4th from Jerry Remsnyder. Mike Leonard on the back bumper of car number 75 of Tim Liddick. Rick Barr running high, running 3rd. Ron Little running 4th. Jerry Remsnyder holding on to 4th, though. Jerry Remsnyder going in hard. Car number 24 regaining 4th position from Ron Little. Here comes Brian Shuey, car number 22, up to 5th position. The 22 of Brian Shuey on the move. Brian Shuey looking to the inside of car number 11. And the caution flag is out. We have 2 cars to the inside of corner number 4. It looks like the K3 of Wilmer Weiss. Wilmer Weiss drives off under his own power. Caution flag is out, though, for the limited late model feature event. With 4 laps down, our race leader, Tim Liddick, car number 75. He's filling the challenge from car number 7 of Mike Leonard. Running 3rd now is Rick Barr, followed by Jerry Remsnyder in a car that is definitely on the move. Is the 22 of Brian Shuey. Brian Shuey started way back in 12th position. He's bettered himself by 7 positions in just 4 laps. Tim Liddick, Rick Barr. Rick Barr now taking over 2nd from Mike Leonard. Brian Shuey moving into 4th. Car number 22. Brian Shuey running 4th. Remsnyder running 5th. Ron Little running 6th. Ron Little now running 5th all by himself. And the 22 gets sideways. Brian Shuey runs it in too hard and gets sideways. I don't know, but I believe Jimmy Shuttlesworth also got collected in on that. Shuttlesworth was running the bottom of the track and had nowhere to go. He threw the car sideways to try and avoid the 22 of Brian Shuey. Tough break for Shuttlesworth. He'd been running somewhere around 10th position, but he's now going to have to go to the rear of the field as the caution flag is out here in the limited late model feature event.
Take your break with Coffee Break Company. Nearly 1,000 local businesses.
Continues to be our race leader here with 6 laps down. It's Rick Barr running 2nd, Mike Leonard running 3rd. The last restart I said Mike Leonard had been running 2nd and Rick Barr 3rd, but they were actually swapped around there. Rick Barr started back in 6th position, currently running 2nd here with 6 laps down. Our race leader, Tim Liddick. Tim Liddick looking for his first career feature win ever here. And we're not going to go green this time around. Several cars jockeying for position. Tim Liddick in the 75, our race leader. Rick Barr running 2nd in the 5G. So our top 4 guys are looking for their first feature win ever. I'll tell you who benefited off that last caution. It was the 24, Jerry Remsnyder. Remsnyder got sideways off corner number 2 and nearly got collected by several cars. He dropped all the way back to about 10th position. But being that the caution flag came back, they reverted back to the last completed lap. That moves him up to 4th position. So the luck was on his side that time for car number 24, Jerry Remsnyder. But as I said, the first 4 cars are looking for their first feature win ever. Tim Liddick just about ready to receive the green once again with 6 laps down. Rick Barr running 2nd, Mike Leonard 3rd, Remsnyder 4th. And the 11 of Ron Little up to 5th. Jeff Leapart in warm 103. Car number 103 running 6th, trying to take over 5th from Ron Little. He picked up a feature win here 3 weeks ago. Jeff Leapart now into the top 5. Leapart on the back bumper of Jerry Remsnyder. Ron Little goes back around Leapart. Remsnyder nearly getting sideways once again off corner number 2. Leapart looking to the inside. They were 3 abreast for a short second there. Ron Little now up to 4th position. Remsnyder nearly getting sideways off corner number 4. Tim Liddick does get sideways along with Ron Little. Several cars down there. I can't make them all out. Possibly the 27 of Mark Billett. Looks like the 11 of Ron Little. The 75 of Tim Liddick. The 27 of Mark Billett. The K3 of Wilmer Weiss. 4 cars. 2 of the top 4 cars being taken out here. Mark Billett had been running somewhere around 8th or 9th position. But once again, the caution flag is out here in a limited late model feature event. Well, what a change of events here in a limited late model feature event. Rick Barr is now our race leader, the 75 of Tim Liddick. Losing it there, coming off corner number 4. I don't know if he had some help or not, but our new race leader is Rick Barr, followed by Mike Leonard. Jeff Leapart now up to 3rd spot into 103. Looks like this may be his feature event. Scott Richwine now up to 4th. Richwine on the outside there. And the yellow flag is out once again. I don't know if it's for debris on the track or not. I don't see any cars on the track. Caution flag is out. Understand it may have been for car number 11G. I think he may have looped it or something like that. He brings out the caution flag here in a limited late model feature event. Well, we still have 8 laps down here in the limited late model feature event. We understand that the caution flag was for the 11G of Steve Gross. He has been black flagged, sent to the pit area. He was running with practically no front end there. All the sheet metal was missing from the car. Our race leader is Rick Barr, followed by Mike Leonard. Jeff Leapart. Scott Richwine up to 4th spot. Richwine in car number 2 started 11, now running 4th. Jeff Leapart with a very good start, now up to 2nd position. Shuey running 6th. Jeff Leapart now running 2nd. Leapart closing in on Rick Barr. Rick Barr into 5. Car number 2 is Scott Richwine getting into the outside retaining wall. He had been running 4th. He drops all the way back to 8th position. Jeff Leapart is our new race leader, followed by Rick Barr. Jeff Leapart really starting to pull away. Chris Shuey come bonsaiing off corner number 4. Chris Shuey driving across the front of the track. Chris Shuey, car number 21, breaking something on the front end of car number 21. Nearly taking out several cars as he drove right in front of them. Brings out the caution flag here in a limited late model feature event. Well, that's a tough break for Chris Shuey. As we said, Chris Shuey almost coming out in front of several other cars. We looked at a replay of that, and the right front wheel was bent out. He had no control of the car, and that's why he came across in front of those cars. Jeff Leapart, our race leader here in the limited late model feature event, followed by Rick Barr, Mike Leonard, Charlie Cope, Todd Bayshore, Russ Leinbach Jr., Jimmy Shuttlesworth, and Brian Shuey back up to 8th position after going to the rear of the field. Brian Shuey looking real strong as he now is back up to 6th spot. The 22 of Brian Shuey now taking over 5th spot. Brian Shuey, as I said earlier, had to go to the rear of the field. Now back up to 5th position. Shuey looking to the inside of Mike Leonard. Mike Leonard getting sideways. Once again, several cars collected down there. The track is totally blocked. 7 or 8 cars involved in this caution period. The 7 of Mike Leonard, the 27 of Mark Billett, the 91 of Shuttlesworth, the 6 of Carl Billett. Some of the cars are hidden there. I can't quite make out who they are. The 75 of Tim Liddick. But once again, we see the caution flag here in a limited late model feature event.
Smith's Appliance and Electronics Center has been your neighborhood GE dealer for 65 years. Smith carries quality General Electric appliances, bringing good things to your life. Before you buy your next stove, washer and dryer, or refrigerator, stop by Smith's Appliance on South Hanover Street in Carlisle.
I'm Joey King. Come see us race at Williams Grove Speedway each and every Friday night. And for all your appliance needs, please visit us at Smith's Appliance, your General Electric dealer. See you at the races.
Well, Jeff Leapart, after he's gotten the lead here, we've had several quick caution periods. He's our race leader. Running in the runner-up position is a 5 of Rick Barr. Third is Charlie Cope. Fourth, Brian Shuey in a 22. What a story about him. And running fifth is a 9 of Russ Leinbach Jr. Brian Shuey had worked his way up to fourth before spinning out. He worked his way from the rear of the field back up to fourth position. Dave Eitner running 6th right now. Eitner taking over 5th in car number 71. Dave Eitner started way back in 20th position. He's just avoided the trouble, working his way through the pack, picking them off one at a time. Brian Shuey up to 2nd position. Brian Shuey trying to close in on Jeff Leapart. 3-4 laps ago, everybody thought this was Leapart's race, but now Brian Shuey 2 or 3 car lengths behind him, and a caution flag out once again. With 14 laps down, it looks like car number 2 is Scott Richwine. I believe it is the 2 of Scott Richwine bringing out the caution flag here in a limited late model feature event. Jeff Leapart continues to be our race leader here in the limited late model feature event. Scott Richwine unable to continue. He was taken into the pits on the hook. It's Brian Shuey in the 22 running 2nd, followed by Charlie Cope, Rick Barr, and Dave Eitner into the top 5. Car number 71. Ron Little looking to the inside of Eitner. They're running side by side. Rick Barr running 4th now. Brian Shuey closing in on Jeff Leapart. He runs maybe 1 or 2 car lengths behind Jeff Leapart. 5 laps remain here in the limited late model feature event. Wilmer Weiss getting sideways on the front stretch. The K3 of Wilmer Weiss bringing out the caution flag once again in the limited late model feature event. Well, just 5 laps remain here in the limited late model feature event. It's Jeff Leapart over Brian Shuey, Charlie Cope, Rick Barr, and Dave Eitner. Brian Shuey looking for his first feature win ever here at Silver Spring Speedway. Right up onto the back bumper of Jeff Leapart. Jeff Leapart started 13th. Brian Shuey originally started 12th, but he had to work his way from the rear of the field back up to 2nd position. And the caution flag is out once again. With 16 laps down, it's Glenn Adams, car number 12, sitting tight against the inside guardrail, coming off corner number 4. Glenn Adams, sponsored by Adams Vending, who also sponsor the point fund here for the limited late model division. Looks like he's going to get underway under his own power. We should go green this next time around. Looks like they're going to leave the caution flag out one more time here. Well, Jeff Leapart ought to be becoming an expert at these restarts. I think we've had 4 or 5 cautions right in a row here. Run a lap, have a caution, run a lap, have a caution. Brian Shuey's on his back bumper, though. Brian Shuey just waiting for Leapart to make one mistake. Maybe these restarts will play into his favor. Brian Shuey right on the back bumper. Jerry Remsnyder got sideways, went into the pit area. I don't know if they'll let car number 24 back out. And the caution flag is out once again. We have Carl Billett and the 9 of Russ Leinbach Jr. bringing out the caution flag here. 16 laps still are down here in the limited late model feature event. We're back to green flag racing with the limited late model feature event. It's Jeff Leapart trying to hold off Brian Shuey. Jeff Leapart, Brian Shuey making contact. Brian Shuey trying to go underneath Leapart. Once again, some more banging on the backstretch. In that last caution flag period, the red flag came out for Carl Billett. He was okay, but unable to continue in tonight's feature event. Jeff Leapart has claimed the bottom here. Brian Shuey trying to find a way around Leapart though. Shuey looks like he may be the faster car out there. Shuey to the top of the track. Jeff Leapart with 2 laps to go, holding him off. Shuey trying to go around him. It's Shuey on the outside. They're side by side down the backstretch. Shuey gets a little sideways, gets it back under control. Chris Shuey coming back out in the 21 on the bottom of the track. Jeff Leapart having to go to the top. Chris Shuey has his brother blocked off. Tough break for Brian Shuey. Brian Shuey all over. Leapart nearly gets sideways. The caution flag is out. The checkered flag waves with the yellow flag. Both the checkered and the yellow flag waving. It's Jeff Leapart over Brian Shuey, Charlie Cope, Ron Little, Jimmy Shuttlesworth, Rick Barr, Mark Billett, Scott Richwine, and Gene Wrightstone. What an exciting finish there. Jeff Leapart nearly losing it in corner number 4. The caution flag comes out on the last lap, but they wave the checkered flag, and it's Jeff Leapart in car number 103. The race is not over. They are going to run one more lap, I understand. It is lap 19. I've been informed by our statistician, Steve Bubb. They're going to bring all the cars back out. They are going to run one more lap. The initial indication was that the race was over. They waved the checkered and the yellow flag, but now they're going to run the last lap once again, and we're going to see a shootout here. Well, Jeff Leapart thought he had a feature win there. That would have been his second of the season. But we are going to run one more lap here. The caution coming out before the checkered flag. So this is the 19th lap, a one-lap shootout between Leapart and Shuey. We're going to go around one more time here. Several of the cars not in order. They're going to give them a chance to get in line. We'll go green this next time around. It's Jeff Leapart, Brian Shuey, Charlie Cope, Ron Little, Rick Barr, Jimmy Shuttlesworth, Mark Billett, the 2 of Scott Richwine, the 12 of Glenn Adams, and the 10 of Wrightstone. Well, the field has slimmed down. There's been a lot of caution flags tonight. I understand this is close to a track record for caution flags. This event has run nearly 40 minutes. Also a record just about for length of time for a feature event for the limited late models. Jeff Leapart just needs one more lap though to pick up the checker flag, but Brian Shuey looking to spoil that for Leapart with just one lap to go here. Here it is, Shuey on the outside. Jeff Leapart at the bottom of the track, Brian Shuey on the outside. They're side by side down the backstretch. Door-to-door racing here at Silver Spring Speedway. Brian Shuey looks like he may have the advantage coming off 4. It's Brian Shuey by a nose over Jeff Leapart. 3rd to Charlie Cope, 4th to Ron Little, 5th to Shuttlesworth, 6th going to Rick Barr, 7th to Mark Billett, 8th to Richwine, 9th to Adams, and 10th to Gene Wrightstone. Brian Shuey picking up his first ever feature win in the limited late model division. It took a long time, but he finally gets it done. In car number 22, the winner of tonight's 20-lap feature event for the limited late model division. When we come back, we'll have the family Ford Mercury B main right after this.